Brought to you by GN and Co. On today's episode, we have Refilwe Mohlala. She is a marketing communication student with a growing interest in how consumer neuroscience, emotional brand storytelling intersect, and how our brains shape how we connect with brands. She currently serves as vice president of her institution's SRC, advocating for student well-being, where she is known for her sharp thinking and consistency. This episode marks her first step in publicly sharing her journey with PCOS and insulin resistance, an experience that has shaped how she sees her body, her voice, and her purpose. She hopes that her story opens for more honest conversations and reminds others that they are not alone. Sure, Genge, welcome back to yet another episode of After School is After School with your girl, Sis G.U. To those that are at home, I hope you guys are well. And to those that are passing by, all right, I hope you like what you see and you join the Genge, please. I hope you like what you see and you join the Genge, please. I hope you watch ya and you join the Genge, please. Boo, 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 boo. Guys, I feel like my guests today have really been hyping my intro, and I want you to know that I appreciate that because yes, guys, from the bio that played beforehand, you guys are aware of who my guest is today, but today I am just with Refilwe. I am actually really excited for this episode because I've never actually gone about shooting an episode like this before. So I had dropped my PCOS journey and Refilwe resonated with that and sent me an email, and she's like, you know what, I think it would be really cool for us to do something together. And this is a moment for me as well because I actually don't know that many people who suffer from PCOS and insulin resistance in general. So I feel like we're going to find a lot of common ground. I'm going to learn from you as well. So that's what today's episode and conversation is. And for those of you who do not know, PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had kind of given you guys a little bit of a breakdown as to my diagnosis, but I was diagnosed in 2022. I started seeing symptoms though, maybe by 2021, if I'm keeping it a buck. And the symptoms for me that were very prominent were the facial hair, the late period, the inability to lose weight as easily as what I used to be able to do as well. So I have friends who have endometriosis and they often complain about their period cramps and that the endometriosis obviously makes their period symptoms worse. And I don't know if that's actually a symptom for us PCOS girlies.
To be honest, I really think it is.
Nah.
Like when I first got my period, because for me, the symptoms were irregular periods or no periods. For me, it was no period.
Okay.
So I had never experienced anything like that. So when I got my period, it was debilitating. I'd be taking
facts
4 pills in a day and just sleeping through my period. And like during that time, I wasn't going to school, I wasn't doing anything. So I was at home. And I'd just sleep it away. And then eventually when I started going to school, I had to take so many pills just so I could stand and just make it through my day. So I really do think it
is a symptom.
It's intense.
And that makes so much sense because as much as I had irregular periods, I'd be missing months at a time sometimes. So I'm sure when my endometrious lining was shedding, there was a lot going on there, hence why I felt like my periods were debilitating. So what brought you to your diagnosis? What symptoms did you maybe have that you flagged that you thought like, you know what, this is wrong? Outside of obviously you not having a period. Also, sorry, when you say you didn't have a period, how long are we speaking?
So it's a very peculiar story.
Okay.
I was 13, grade 7. I remember this moment so perfectly. I was on my way to hockey practice. It was after school. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting my period. But luckily my mom was like, you know, you're 13 now. I'm going to get you some pads, whatever. Be prepared. On the day I got my period, last time I saw it, for the next couple of months.
Okay.
So then she takes me to the gynae. The gynae does a scan. She's like, no, your egg count is good. This is normal. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's going to come back, monitor your body for the next couple of months. I ended up monitoring my body for 6 years. It didn't come back. But also, I was getting to skip out on my period for 6 years. I didn't want the stress. I was okay. Yeah. So eventually, 2023, I went to an obstetrician this time / gynae.
Sorry, so still from the age of 13 until 2023, no period at
2023, 19 now. Okay. No period. Nothing. Haven't seen it since then.
Yes.
Then I went to the gynae because we were getting concerned because
you're getting older now. Yeah, no.
You're getting a little bit older. Let's find out what's happening.
Yeah.
So Went to the gynae and she's like, okay, I see you've got facial hair.
Okay.
She's like, what happens when you're trying to lose weight? So I had actually joined the gym in Jan. I'm like, it's hard. It's not working out. She's like, okay, I'm going to give you a pamphlet. You're going to read through it. But first I'm going to just scan do an ultrasound. She finds the cysts, obviously. So I read through the symptoms: fatigue, breast pain, depression. What was the other one? No period. So I'm like, oh,
sounding a bit familiar.
I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. But like the depression, I wasn't sure because I had been depressed prior to having PCOS, and this is years before. I think this is now 2020. This is 2023, and I'm like, is it related? But I'm not sure. But yeah, they're not showing symptoms and acne. But I thought it was like a growing up thing,
a normal thing.
But I was like, no,
something is up.
Something's up.
Okay, so she gives you the pamphlet, you go through it, and then thereafter she still does do an ultrasound.
Yes,
and then she sees.
She sent me for blood tests as well.
Okay,
so she's like, okay, I can see the cysts, but I need to find out what's driving it.
Yes.
So she says insulin resistance.
Okay.
Okay.
And how do you feel when you get your diagnosis?
So it felt like my mom's appointment more than mine.
Okay,
because she's speaking and I'm listening, but I'm like,
yeah. And I'm sure your mom is the one asking all the questions.
She's asking all the questions. Also because I don't know what to ask at this point. I'm unsure. Also because she made a statement that like was dry.
What did she say?
You're going to struggle to have kids. I'm like,
why do they like to say that off the bat?
I'm like, okay. And this is hard to hear, especially if you're someone who wants a lot of kids. I grew up in a family, there were 4 of us. And I was like, I want that too. I want a big family. And I was like, oh, okay. So she goes, I'm 19 at that. So my entire plan is disrupted. Get married by this age, have the first kid by this age, and all of this and all of this. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. So in that moment, I wasn't feeling much. Also, and she was just about to start treatment. So I was like, you know what? I'll feel once I see how the treatment works. Yeah. And I'll regulate then. But in the moment, I was set. I was numb. I was like, okay.
Damn.
Interesting.
Like, you're just a 19-year-old living your life and now you're hit with this heavy thing. Yeah. And on top of that, the first thing they're leading with is you're going to struggle to get pregnant. First of all, I'm not even trying. At all. Like, I just arrived. I'm trying to enjoy my time. Please. Okay. My diagnosis was a little bit similar. Yeah. Funny enough, it took some time. Okay, wait. So with the first doctor that you saw, they diagnosed you off of the bat. So you didn't have to maybe get a second opinion.
I did not know.
Okay, I love the fact that
been treating me throughout.
Okay, yeah. I love the fact that she is aware of what PCOS is, because in my situation, I love my gynae. I love her down. But I had like these symptoms, but also I jumped onto contraceptives quite early, and obviously that masks your symptoms. So first in high school, I was on Oratane or Racetane, one of the two. So naturally, even if I maybe was meant to have acne, I didn't have it because of what I was taking at that time. Yeah. Cool, get to varsity. I tried the injection. That was terrible. The weight retention was horrible. And then eventually I'm like, you know what, let me go onto the pill. Go onto the pill, and the pill that I was on, I think, in my opinion, was helping with my facial hair. Yeah. Obviously regulating my period. I wasn't keeping that much weight on as well. So I felt like, oh, everything is cool. It's dandy. It's nice. And then I was on contraceptives for maybe like 3 years. And at this point, not to say that I needed to be on them, but at this point in my life, I was just like, I'm not seeing a need, honestly. Yeah. I feel like I want to see if my period is regular. I don't have a partner. You know, let me cool for a bit. And I saw my buttocks in those months of unwinding. So I see my doctor first, and she's like, no, it's fine. We're going to like wind you off just a little bit by bit. And when I get to the point where I'm no longer on the pill, I'm starting to see things I've never seen before. I'm gaining weight rapidly, which is confusing because I'm not necessarily eating more than what I was before. Yeah. I'm still the same level of like being active. But for me, I knew when I started to get the hair underneath here. And it was interesting because when I brought it up to my mom, like, my dad's side of the family is very hairy. So it's just like, oh, this is normal.
You don't suspect.
You don't suspect anything. Like, it's fine. And then I think for me, the cherry on top of my periods, when I was like, nah, something is actually wrong here. So then after that, I messaged my gynae. I'm like, is this normal? And obviously I'd been doing my pap smears and stuff, and my what's it called? Where they check your cysts? My ultrasounds. Yes. And everything seemed fine. So she's like, she's not worried at all. She's like, no, you know what? Your body is just adjusting. Time goes on. I'm like, no, this is this is not cool. So then someone kind of starts to speak to me about PCOS, and I'm like, ngiyasolo ukuthi I might.
Had you heard about PCOS before that day?
No, I'd never heard about it before. So when she spoke about it, I was just like, these are my symptoms. You're a bit loud right now, ma'am. Clocked it, and then immediately I started to look for other gynaes and other doctors in general who specialize in PCOS, because that's when I realized that maybe not all doctors or gynaes are
Have the
aware of
knowledge.
of the syndrome. Not a syndrome, child. Of this, what is it actually?
Polycystic ovarian
Syndrome. It is a syndrome, yes, of the syndrome. And then I found someone, and he was a man. And sat down in his chair, and then obviously my diagnosis was just that, like, he could see it on my face. Like, he was very much like bada boom, bada bang, which is fair because it does have a look, but obviously it was very jarring for me because I was like, oh my goodness, are you telling me I've been walking around this whole time?
And people can just tell what's wrong with me. It's written
written here. I said, please, tranquilo. And then he hits me with the whole, like, you may struggle to fall pregnant as well. And I was just very overwhelmed. And I feel like the treatment that he had put me on, or the prescription he had given me, was metformin. And my mom was like, I don't, like, she knows metformin to be
for diabetes.
And then my mom's like, okay, wait a minute. So are you insulin resistant? So then we run the test, and then they say, I'm actually not insulin resistant, so we don't take the metformin route. And then I get in touch with a dietitian and an endocrinologist to see, like, other means and ways. So I love the fact that the person that you saw straight off the bat was aware of it, could diagnose it and help you, because I think it's not nice to constantly have to see doctors
and get referred. It's a process.
It is, and also it's a process that is very expensive.
Even the medication. Because medical aid doesn't cover all of it.
Yes, it doesn't. Okay, cool. So you get your diagnosis, and now you've been working with this person for some time.
Yeah.
What was the medication?
So for the first 3 months, she wants to give me meds that are going to essentially drop the insulin levels. So she gives me Sinopol sachets and the metformin.
Yes.
So 3 months I'm on that. It's not helping. My period doesn't come.
Really?
Because at this point, she's just trying to get my period to come.
Yeah.
So I go back after 3 months. She puts me on progesterone because
Okay.
I had higher testosterone levels than the progesterone.
Yes.
So my mom, oh, bless her heart. She asked me, she goes, but like, you like boys? I felt like I was being set up. I'm
Of
like,
course.
how do I answer this?
Now, how do I
because
answer
it's
it?
the same person. Hey, unga jolly. Hey, boys, pregnancy. Do I say yes?
Do I say yes?
I'm like, yeah, I do like boys. And she goes, okay, I'm not saying date.
Yeah.
I just want to gauge what's
Yes.
happening.
Which I get in her mind. I understand where the question is coming from.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, it makes sense for her age. Shame.
Yes, no, definitely. She's like, testosterone.
This doesn't what's happening.
What's actually happening here?
So 3 months of progesterone, that doesn't work. I have to go back again 3 months, and then she puts me on trisequence.
Okay.
Trisequence is hormone replacement therapy now.
Okay.
So it looks exactly like what's this?
Like a pill.
Contraceptives. So it's
Yes.
circular. You go blue pill, white pill, red pill. So for the next 3 months, I've got my period. Every time the red pill comes, that's when my period comes. I'm like, okay, I've got my period.
Okay.
So after those 3 months, I go back. She's like, okay, I'm going to take you off it. I want to see what your body can do on its own.
Yes.
The first month, I'm waiting. I'm counting the days because I know when the period is supposed to come. It doesn't come.
Yeah.
21 days late. 21 days late.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when it came. But the first time I got my period on the trisequence, I was like, God, I know you can answer prayers.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
But
I've seen what you can do, but take it back. Take it back immediately.
I can only imagine, because this is your first period in years.
I was like, I can revisit this when I'm ready to get pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm okay. And like I kept going back because she wanted to put me on contraceptives, but I was like, I don't want contraceptives. I've heard terrible things about contraceptives, weight gain, people are moody, people are this. I was just like, no, thank you. She's like, you sure you don't need contraceptives? I'm like, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm very sure. I'm very sure. So yeah, the trisequence helped, but like, I was just like, is this what I want for myself?
Yeah.
And I can't stop now because my body is now doing this on its own.
Of
I'm
course.
getting my period. And from then on, I've always had my period. It's always late, always
Okay.
late. but I
And you're
do
no
have my
longer on the
period.
tri-sequence though.
No longer on tri-sequence. I'm
Okay.
only on the metformin.
Okay.
And then I swapped out Sinopol for Insumax because we thought it was cheaper.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I'm so happy you said that. So I started with Sinopol and then I went Insumax and now I take Picocetal.
Okay.
And fun enough, the Sinopol and the Instamax, I took myself. So my dietitian hadn't told me, but I obviously had been doing research and I wanted like a multivitamin because I didn't want to go and get like all of these things
meds.
when omega-3, when dude, like magnesium.
It's too much.
It's way too much. And these supplements are very expensive. So cool, I tell her and then she's like, no, she, in her opinion, when it comes to the amount of each supplement that's in this one thing, Picocetal made the most amount of sense.
Okay.
So I'm excited. Cool. I go buy Picocetal. How much is it? 600 and something rand. I said,
You're just paying 100 rand difference from what you were paying for.
30 sachets. I must do it every single month. I said,
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
It's ridiculously expensive.
It's so expensive. And it's kind of working for me now, to be honest with you. Like I'm at a place where I get my period monthly. This is actually the first year where I've had my period for the past 7 months. So that is an achievement for me. So I can see that something is definitely working in my favor and I'm getting there at the very least. But obviously still a journey, you know, like some days my period is a bit late. But I also feel like now I can at least kind of look back at what my previous month was like to see what it was that I was eating, what it was that I did or didn't do in order to get there. Before we get to like what living with PCOS is like and managing it, I want to ask, in your family, have you maybe had any experiences with family members that had PCOS? That were insulin resistant? And even if they maybe didn't know, are there symptoms that your family members have now had that you're maybe like,
oh, that makes sense.
Maybe.
So, like I said, my dad's side of the family,
hairy.
We're hairy. And we're generally just sleepy people.
Okay.
So
sleeping it's not an odd thing.
It's not an odd thing. So like when she said fatigue, I was like, but Sisi, it's not just me. As umdeni, it's our thing. So I was unsure when it came to fatigue, but facial hair, saw it on my aunt. My sister had cysts and she's like, girl, I did this. I took castor oil heating pad and it was gone. I was like, oh, that was easy. So I was like, why is it so hard for me? So she's like, no, try it and see what happens. But I just haven't done it yet. But when it comes to that, those have been the symptoms. My parents are diabetic as well. So I don't know if also that was a contributing factor.
Yeah.
So those were just the things I had seen because my dad is hairy. I'm hairy. One of my aunts is also hairy. But then I was like, oh, my sister's not hairy. Okay. One of my brothers is not hairy. But that's how it plays out with genes, right? It's a 50-50 chart. So you're just like, oh, I would have gone about my life not knowing had I just not been that curious and said, you know what? I don't have my period. I'm still going to live my life. I'm going to chill.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh,
yeah,
interesting to see.
It is.
What about you?
So for sure now in hindsight, my mom had a sister and she was like, it's so funny, Cooks, now that you've been diagnosed, she's actually clocking some things. So my aunt had a beard, like a little beard, and they used to make fun of her at home, just be like, oh, what an inchewiako, and they didn't think much of it. And I think she mentioned someone else in the family had cysts as well, but obviously they were able to have children. God bless, love that for them. But now she's like, you know what, maybe at that time, my sister did struggle with PCOS and wasn't actually aware of it.
Yeah.
So it's also just interesting to see that there is so little information on the syndrome and so many people are possibly living with it without even knowing that they're suffering from it. But yeah, at least you know what, at least it's nice to be able to put two and two together to be like, okay, cool. Maybe it came from here.
Yeah.
And what is your experience now? What does managing your symptoms and your flare-ups look like for you?
I eat a whole lot better.
Okay.
So when I found out initially in 2023, I had like a really bad relationship with food. Like it was uncomfortable because I had implemented like a whole lot of like restrictive eating. So I was miserable because I was like, you're not going to eat this. You're not going to do this. And I don't think that's a healthy way to go about it. I think moderation works best and prioritizing nutrition as well. Because just saying, cut sugar, cut this, cut that, you still need a whole lot from certain sugary treats. Like I'll always advocate for sweet treats.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just a little something.
Just a little something.
Yeah.
But definitely my relationship with food has changed. Moderation. Day to day, sometimes it's hard dealing with the facial hair because you'll be in public talking to people and they'll look at you and they'll be like, oh, you have a mustache. Oh, you've got hair on your chin. And I'm like, I'm
The
aware.
amount of times I've had that, and I'm just like, please mind your business.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you
Like, don't
need
make
to
this
say
weird
that.
for me.
You
Yes.
don't need to say it. But also I think the struggling to lose weight. So for me, my weight was a big issue because I was quite big. Like I struggled to look at pictures of myself before this year sometimes because I'm like, that was me. But how it happened was that, okay, I was in the gym consistently in 2023. But I did not see the difference. People always tell me, oh, you look good, you look great. I'm like, oh, really? Oh. And then 2024, I think the 2 middle quarters of the year, I was just like going through the most. So I had stopped eating. So I had dropped like a significant amount of weight. So I felt like I was cheating. I was still in the gym, but I still don't like credit myself for that because I was like, oh no, you were going through the most and you just didn't want to eat. Like it was a lot to get up and cook and just make food. I was surviving on a bowl of cereal and noodles at night and I was done for the day simply because like I was just not there for it. And it got worse with like the body dysmorphia as well because my clothes are falling off of me now.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm shocked at the difference as well. These are my pants. Like I was not invested in buying more clothes. I was just wearing sweatpants and leggings also because I was going to campus. Half of my degree was online. So sometimes I wasn't even on campus. So I was just not interested. I think I bought jeans for the first time again this year.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, let's try. So body image wise, that was also tough. It was just a struggle. So living with it every day, prayer. I can't emphasize that enough. Because I'm also coming to terms with understanding that God might not give me the testimony I think I'm gonna have. So my favorite story in the Bible is the man that was lowered through the roof by his friends. And the first thing God says to him, he says, your sins are forgiven. But it's like, Jesus, he's here to be
I was
healed.
about to say, you talk about sins, my brother.
Yeah, he's paralyzed. He wants to walk. He's not asking
and on
for
top of that, the effort at which he is going
cut
through.
him through the roof.
And his friends at that, please.
What do you mean his sins are forgiven?
Yeah.
And he's like, but he's giving him what he needs as opposed to what he wants. So it's like, okay, my testimony may be, oh, I beat PCOS and I had kids. My testimony may be, oh, I had kids through surrogacy. I actually have a friend who offered to carry my child if I can't.
God bless her.
Like, yeah. Or my testimony may be, I adopted a child. My testimony may be, I actually don't have kids and God has redirected me somewhere else and that's okay. It's actually crazy to think about it only being 21. Like, oh,
absolutely.
This is my life and this is how I live. So honestly, prayer, even on days where it's hard and I'm just like crashing out. The other day I lost my wallet and I started crying and I was with said friend and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you're crying a lot over something that we can probably find.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I start crashing out about everything. She's like, have you dealt with this?
Yeah.
I'm like, probably not.
Not really, babe.
So I also find myself spiraling sometimes when I'm on my own or just having a bad day. I'm just like,
no, definitely retweet to everything you've said. Yeah, I don't know. The food thing for me is just really hard because I think there was even a time in my life where I just really wasn't eating, but the weight still wasn't coming off. And that's where my mind couldn't even fathom why that was the case. Cause I'm like, I promise you, I'm
trying.
I'm hardly eating in the day. But obviously it's very much a nutrition thing. You need to get your protein in, you need to get your fiber in as well. Yeah, and I think maybe I'm in a better place now. I could be better, to be quite honest with you. But I think sometimes I feel very defeated at the fact that I have to be so conscious of everything I'm putting in my body all the time.
Yeah.
And
working twice as hard to be half as good.
Excuse me. I'm like, really? What the heck? But the weight thing, I think, is still a touchy subject for me. Honestly, I'm just taking it one day at a time. And I'm also trying to operate from a place of loving my body and loving what my body still does for me. Even if I may not like what it looks like, right? Because at the end of the day, it still gets me through my day. It gets me through my workouts. It gets me to record, to whatever it is I need to do. So I'm trying to celebrate it more so than like tearing it down. But my breakdowns come from putting on clothes. That's when I'm literally just like, you must be actually kidding me. Like, I fit into this fit different, this look different, whatever it was. And even when people would say to me like, oh, you've lost a bit of weight or what, my body dysmorphia is at the highest it's ever been right now. Like I'll be doing something, my mom's like, oh yeah, you look a little bit slimmer, you look this. In my mind I'm like,
the one day I came home, she's like, are you selling your groceries? She's like, Uvule
I'm
itak
so
shop.
dead.
She's like, Uvule itak shop. I'm like, sister,
no. No.
I swear I'm cooking.
Yeah.
But same friend, she said something so profound. She said, on days where I cannot love myself, I will at least respect myself.
And you know what? That's crazy because sometimes I don't be respecting myself. That's just my truth. Like some days I can be very harsh on myself and harsh on my body. And obviously I don't think you can be proactive or do anything about anything in that mentality or in that mind space. So that for me is still the biggest challenge, to be honest. And even like the whole notion of, because when I got diagnosed, I obviously went down the rabbit hole of like TikTok, ChatGPT, Google and stuff. And there's so much information out there, but obviously you won't know what will work for your body until you try it and you find whatever that is. True. So like I was very much like a HIIT, lots of cardio kind of girl. And I'm obviously reading that like, no, that actually spikes your insulin. So maybe do more walking.
Training,
yes,
whatever.
do more strength training, do all of these things. And even that for me was jarring because I felt like I couldn't work out in the way in which I knew how to work out. And especially like my formula used to work for me. Like if I picked up weight, I knew exactly do this, do that, and then boom, I'm going to be back at like my baseline at the very least. And that's not the case anymore, you know? So it's also having to find joy in my new routine and in my new reality, no matter how different it is. And I love what you said in that your testimony may not be what it is that you want for it to be. And that's a very hard pill to swallow. And I even can imagine that like the emotional weight that you feel at such a young age and having to think about your future in a way that you never maybe would have before is a lot, you know? Like at 21, I was not thinking about whether or not I can have kids or if I can do this or that. You know, I really was living my life. But the one thing my mom always says to me is that she's really grateful that I'm diagnosed now because I can work towards having kids, right? And again, that's if that's what God wants for me, and if that's a part of my purpose. And the truth of the matter, though, is that I think it's about like 60% of women who have PCOS are able to have children as well, especially if you are taking care of your symptoms, if you are eating well and taking your supplements and so forth. So there is like light at the end of the tunnel, but I completely understand what you're saying and that like you can't always assume that other people's outcome is going to be your outcome.
There's this lady on TikTok, she like bought her own wax pods. Her name's Dekwana Wise. She bought her own wax pods and her own wax because like for her it gets like super intense. And I'm like, guys, sometimes I also just need to be grateful in my pain that I don't have it as intense as another woman.
Absolutely. And also I think especially with the facial hair, it's I don't know, because it's the face, you just really feel like everyone is staring at this thing. And even those comments, I know they're most probably coming from an innocent place of like, yo, we see your mustache, but it's like, you're triggering me so hard right now.
Like,
and you don't even know it. So I started doing laser at the beginning of this year. And I did it because it was my biggest insecurity for me. Like I got to the point where I didn't want to be in front of a camera. Like weight gain aside, I was just like, the combination
of the hair or the weight.
No.
It's much.
It's way too much for me. So laser's actually been doing me really good. And I even feel like it's brought about my confidence back, which I'm really grateful for. But on the flip side of that, I'm just so aware of how expensive the syndrome is.
Maintenance is a lot.
Not everyone can afford to wax all the time. Not everyone can afford to do laser. Not everyone can afford to see an endocrinologist. Not everyone can afford to see a dietitian. Even when I saw my endocrinologist, my tests alone were like 5,500 Rand.
And specialists don't take medical aid. They do not. They wanted cash.
They wanted cash.
And it's like,
where must I get the money to do so? How must I go about that, right? But again, I think it's still about being able to see beauty even where you may not feel the most beautiful. And I love what your friend said, like when you can't meet yourself with love, at least like respect yourself. Okay, cool. So we now have spoken about like what your day-to-day looks like, maintaining it physically wise, like food wise, exercise wise. What has it done to your mental health and your mental state? Because you mentioned a little bit earlier that it obviously maybe has exacerbated your depression, but you were depressed beforehand. So it's very hard to distinguish, like, was this like a thing before or not?
So I'm in a place where I refused to ever admit that I'm depressed. I'm like,
fair.
Because the first time I was depressed, or when I initially realized that I was depressed, 2020, right? a very tough time, very dark time. And I never want to find myself in that place
space
ever
again.
again.
Yeah.
So I also, for me personally in my journey, I feel that admission will be the first thing that takes me back. So I will refuse to say I'm depressed
Facts. I get
ever
that.
again. So
I get that.
I may be living in a false sense of optimism, and if I am, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I can't. No. It was like, yeah. So in terms of my mental health, it's tough. It's tough because you are dealing with something completely new that's happening to your body, something you feel like you could have avoided at times. So like I said, I had the regrets, actually. I could have left this alone until I was ready to have kids or get married or whatever, because I was easy chilling. I really was. And the pain, like, it really gets so intense. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, but God.
Yeah.
Oh, as you see ladies on TikTok, they're like, yo, I pray for my period pains and they go away. I was like, I tried that too, sister.
And they ain't going away.
They're not going away. And I think above all, it really is testing my relationship with God. Above all else, just be like to have that much reliance on Him as well, to say, dude, last month I got this like very bad flu. It was very bad. I was in the hospital, everything, whatever.
Damn.
And I was on my period at the same time. No pain. And I was like, God looked at me and said, I'm sorry, I feel bad. I pity you, Mtanam. No pain this month.
At least, Kosiam, because the double whammy of the two would have been actually too much.
I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Because it like, I look back and I'm like, I'm actually taking too many painkillers in a day. It's not normal.
Yeah.
And I'm flying through different brands as well. Like what happened? I got my period fine. She prescribed something for me for the pain. Didn't work. She prescribed something else. Didn't work. Went to the pharmacy. They prescribed something. It didn't work. So I take variations of all these different things at the same time now, which is probably hurting my body even more. So it's a lot of confusion as well. And just, it feels like playing chess. Oh, what am I waking up to today? What's the next move? What am I doing? So it's different every day. Some days I feel amazing, but I try my best to never let it limit my life. At all. Last year it was easier. I wasn't going anywhere, so I didn't need clothes. I'm trying to go out more this year, be present in my life. I'm like, okay, let me try. Sometimes I make my mom buy something. She's like, is this gonna fit? I'm like, buy it. I'll lose the weight. Don't worry. Buy it. I'll gain the weight. Don't worry. I'll make sure it happens. Because a lot of my clothes have to be altered now because. But now I'm growing again.
Fluctuates.
So I'm just like, what do I do? So like I said, mind games feels like playing chess. It's just it's a weird experience. So I don't want to say I'm depressed, but at times I am really, really sad.
I get
really sad.
No, I get that. Yeah, I get the not wanting to say that you're something, because my mom has a beef with me. Like anytime I've been like, oh, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, she's like, this thing is not yours. Like, don't claim it. Like, you can maybe be suffering from it or having like a bout of anxiety or depression, but like, don't say I am depressed. So I've been watching my language a lot when it comes to that. It did though bring about a depressive episode for me. Very aware of that. And even so, I think like sometimes I slip into that very easily. And I can also kind of like slip into the whole, I just don't like myself. I don't like what I look like right now. And I think it also comes from the fact that like you said, each day you wake up, you don't know what it is that you're going to be dealing with. And it almost feels a lot easier to deal with something that has symptoms that show up the same way each and every day, because you know what your battles are going to be. And even so, I've even found that like there's some symptoms I'd have, but they disappear and then they come back and then you deal with that. And then, and I'm like, what in the chest is happening right now? Because this is my formula and I just kind of want to stick to that and stick to what it is that I know. But yeah, for me, like, I think it also has brought about some bits of anxiety, just because my work is very much pamgwabantu, camera, lights, action. And I think my PCOS has made me want to hide. I'm in a better place. And I think speaking about it publicly is what has helped me, because I'm just like, this thing is not something I should feel ashamed about or like I shouldn't have to hide myself. But I really would be lying if I said that like, there are just days where I don't feel like being seen. Yeah, be it by friends, be it by family. And I'm very black or white as a person. So sometimes I'm even like, you know what, maybe if I don't see anyone for a month, let me push up on the play, get my life sorted. And then when I come back, I'll be like in a better place.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not a way to go about community because your people want to be there for you, to support you, to love you, to pray over you, speak life over you. And also just to like validate your efforts, you know? So that's been something that I've been really struggling with. And also sometimes it feels like no one understands, you know?
I was about to ask, when it came to alerting your community, how did that feel?
It was fine. Yeah, I think I struggled in the conversation for sure. Again, because many of them didn't know what PCOS was. So it's the whole like explaining what it is, and then explaining how it is that it affects you. And even now my friends will ask me questions from time to time, and I know they're doing so because they're quite literally just trying to learn and see how it is that they can support me, which is amazing. I do feel like I'm a little bit more sensitive now. Like my tears are also there ready to go. And funny enough, I think my community was fine. I think it's navigating dating a little bit because the idea of bringing in someone and sharing that with them just feels like a lot, and it feels very personal and close to home. But I know I would have to share that, you know, because I do have flare-ups and I do have symptoms, and there are days where I'm just like, please, ne? Ngicela ungangi. Like, and literally
That's enough.
And it's just my body. So I think it more than anything, it's navigating how to have the conversation with people that are like new in my life. That's been like really challenging. So yeah. And also, I don't know, I want to feel supported in that regard when it comes to my partner as well, because it will affect how often maybe I can eat out or not. It will affect whether or not I'm drinking as well, you know? So it's something that they do have to be a part of. I want to ask you something, obviously feel comfortable to answer or not, but how has your relationship with alcohol been since your diagnosis?
So I genuinely don't drink much.
Yes.
So I will have a drink if I'm out with friends or whatever, but like,
it's not your forte.
It's not something that I'm like highly intent on. It's just, I can enjoy a good glass of wine here and there.
Sorry, mom. Yeah, literally. So sorry.
Kay. But yeah, I drink usually on social occasions only. Also because I also don't want a bad relationship with alcohol either. Like I don't want to feel terrible the next day and whatever. So
absolutely.
My relationship with alcohol. So I don't think it's a huge contributing factor at all because I'm really out as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm asking obviously just because you are really young and at your age, child, I wish I could say I was barely drinking because if anything, we were going to town at that point. So ever since my diagnosis, I think naturally I was already starting to like wind off of alcohol. Yeah. But now more than ever, I feel like I'm more aware of it. And for me, it is one of the things that flare me up. Like I will be bloated, I will be inflamed for sure. I will see it immediately. And obviously it's very hard to sometimes navigate social settings whereby like people maybe knew you would drink. Like, yeah.
Like, how when?
I'll pause my wena. And also it's kind of difficult sometimes for me because I don't want to have to say I have PCOS, that's why I'm not drinking. You know, like
also guys, if I say no today, that's enough. That's a sentence. I get back.
And that is enough. No, that's quite literally enough. Like I always say to my friends, like even when it comes to their birthdays, I'm like, what's the most important is my presence.
Yeah.
Whether or not I'm drinking
means nothing.
Nothing.
It means nothing.
It means nothing. All I need to do is be there, celebrate you, wish you well, pray over you. Mwah. But ogunye, please. Like let's maybe relax off of that. And then I kind of wanted to find out what are your thoughts on, and maybe you don't have much experience with this, but what are your thoughts on like trying to heal your PCOS not traditionally, but in a more natural way, more so than leading towards medicine. I will say this, holistic medicine. Yeah. Let me just say medication, not even holistic medication, because so when I saw my dietitian, she was like, cool, here are your options. We can try cure this thing as naturally as possible. Obviously, I've done all my research at this point. So I'm like, girl, I'm going to try do that. But then the second thing she spoke to me about was, I'm forgetting the name of it, but like an Ozempic of sorts, essentially. And she was like, cool, these are the benefits. Obviously, you'll lose the weight. And even in my diagnosis, I've been told that like if you lose weight to a certain point, your symptoms have the potential of like reversing. Cool. So like this will help you do that. But then she came with all the negatives. And she was like, yeah, your kidneys might fail in the long run. Yo, you might have this. Yeah, I said, huh? I said, girl, obviously I'm going to choose the other. But I'm also aware that some people really do try go about it like the more natural route and nothing then happens. You know, and that's a tough space to be in.
So, to give you background on my mom, she loves the YouTube videos.
Okay.
Look, this is the remedy. So she does a lot of that for herself. So she'll be mixing the gingers, the lemons, the turmerics, the okras, and putting them in the fridge and whatever, and doing that for her stuff. But like, I don't think we've ever come to a point where like, actually, we're gonna do this for you. It's like not something we've explored. So like I said, when my sister said castor oil and a heating pad, I was like, okay, just maybe let's try it. That's why I'm like, I haven't been intentional enough, I think, as well. Also, maybe that's a sort of detachment from the PCOS, trying to
absolutely. It's like not real.
I'm going to the pharmacy. That's quick. I'm done. Easy.
Yes.
So now, if I'm trying holistic natural remedies, I need to be invested in what I'm doing. I need to be standing there, mixing it up, doing the whole thing. And I'm like, actually, do I think I'm as invested as what I think? And I'm like, oh. So I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
I think we'll see how the journey goes and all of that. I actually, you said Ozempic, right?
Yes. It's like an Ozempic, she said, but essentially does the same thing. Essentially,
Ozempic.
yeah.
Doesn't like Ozempic? I've low-key got a couple of qualms with Ozempic. Also because I think reliance on Ozempic is killing the people.
Absolutely.
With no hard work on the side.
Yeah.
So that's those are my views.
Those
on
are your
Ozempic and Ozempic like things.
Yeah.
So
I think like I understand the use of Ozempic if you've tried. You know, like for me, try your very best.
Yeah.
If your body is literally refusing and nothing is happening, then for sure. And I think when we think Ozempic now, people think like quick weight loss remedy. And for me, that's very dangerous.
Because that's how people have showcased it.
Yes. Like not that it's there for medical use, but it's there for lifestyle and just to be a slender bender, which obviously isn't the case. Yeah. So for me, like I'm okay if you do your Ozempic thing, but purely because you've done what you could do. And you want to like, I mean, losing weight you're at the point now where losing weight is pivotal for your livelihood, for sure. Yeah, but Oguti nje, Ozempic mina nayo siyazwana. No, for me that's really weird. And I want you to leave us with a message for anyone who maybe is your age, who has been diagnosed with PCOS, who is very overwhelmed. Just anything you'd want for them to know.
Okay. Ooh, that's a heavy one actually.
Sorry.
But I think I would say it's an interesting journey because as much as you're learning about the disease, the syndrome itself, you're learning about yourself. And at the end of the day, you do everything you do to better you. So for me, I focus a lot of my energy on everything else outside of the syndrome that makes me me. The things I love, the passions, everything else. And this is just another thing in my life. It doesn't run my life. Exactly. If you're religious, please take pride in Christ. Sit with Christ. Like sometimes you'll be sitting and you don't have answers and you feel like you can't, like you just don't know what to do. He's got the answers even if you think you can't hear him. But like genuinely, you learn every day. You change. Be kind to yourself. Oh, be so kind to yourself. I actually don't have words. I genuinely don't because I think I'm also still learning because there might be even someone younger than what I was when I found out. So it's a learning curve. It changes every day. There's days where it's really hard. There's days where you feel great, and it's just the way life goes. I hate to give out hard advice because it makes me seem like I don't care. But like I went through a phase where I was listening to David Goggins. So David Goggins just says, get up, get into it. And sometimes you need to be a David Goggins. Sometimes you need to be harsh so you can get yourself out of bed. So you can do the things you need to do. So you can show up as the person you need to for other people. Because it's so easy to just close the doors and be like.
Absolutely. And get taken by it.
Yeah. So show up, do your very best, but rest, balance, alignment, and pray. Yeah.
No, I love everything you had to say. And I echo the same sentiments. I think for me, the thing I want to highlight is that it's a journey, and it's one of those journeys that really don't have an end point. Like, we know life is a journey, but like this one really is one of those where you just don't know when the end is or if there'll ever be an end. And you have to show yourself a lot of grace and patience. But simultaneously, I like what you said at the end, that like you kind of have to get up and do something. This diagnosis cannot rule your life. It is not who you are. And I love also what you said, because I feel like for some time, it wasn't just one of those things. It was the thing for me. And ever since acknowledging it, realizing that, you know what, it is a part of my journey right now, and that's okay. But there's still so much more to me. And your PCOS doesn't define you. It doesn't rule you. You are beautiful. Even when your body is fluctuating, even when you don't feel it, if you've gained weight, if you have scars, if you have unwanted hair anywhere, know that you are still your most beautiful version of yourself, and no one should make you feel any less than that. And I think, if anything, it's so interesting, but my PCOS is making me love my body more, and having me be more in tune with my body in ways that I never was before, you know? So I think there's always like a silver lining. You can find something to maybe be grateful about, even on the days where it's hard. But I agree, like, the Lord knows my tears more than anyone when it comes to my PCOS. And more often than not, like, as much as my community can comfort me, I feel like my true comforting comes from Him. And I also just have to trust in the fact that He knows what He's doing, and He knows why I have PCOS. And I can be angry about it on some days, but I trust Him with my life in its entirety. So I trust Him even in this diagnosis process. I trust Him even in the healing journey. And I trust Him with whatever the outcome is, because He makes no mistakes. And sometimes that's a hard reality to swallow, especially when you're dealing with something that's a syndrome or an illness or something that has to do with the body or fatality or anything of that sort. But yeah, like, He is Alpha and Omega. He's literally my beginning and my end. So if I say that, I gotta rock with that till the very end. But Refilwe, thank you so much for your time and your insights. And thank you for sharing your story the way that you did. It's not easy, for sure, especially to speak about it on a public platform. But I know that this conversation and just you and your story is going to touch so many girls, especially people like in your age, you know, who may feel like, yo, life is for the living. I don't really know what's happening right now. I'm very out of touch. But it's really important to have representation and visibility of the fact that, like, I'm in my later 20s and this is my situation. You're in your early 20s and this is your situation. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And is there any way that you'd like people to follow you? Watch out for you?
Probably LinkedIn. Yeah.
Oh, period. oh, that's the realest answer I've ever gotten on this podcast. Period, guys. We will definitely be having her LinkedIn link and bio and all of that for you guys to go and follow. Please hire her, okay? Interview her.
Thank you.
The jobs, the money, a serious girl. And this is what we like, guys. But from us to you, we hope that you guys are well and you enjoyed this episode. Bye. Brought to you by GN & Co.